who had a grade 10 education from high school in Seaforth, Ontario. He was the first coach at Harvard not to have a Harvard degree. He never gave pep talks. He used to say to us just before the game, "Boys, I don't have a high school education. You're at Harvard. If you've been listening to what I've been saying during the week, just go out and do it." And we did. When Cooney passed away, I had the privilege of being one of the ones who gave the eulogy at his service in the historic part of Harvard Yard Memorial Church. 400 places, overfilled, over half old hockey players, about half Harvard professors. And I remember saying, when the history of our civilization is written, historians will look back on this institution as one of the most powerful instruments for good in our society. Why is that so? It is because of outstanding teachers, and we honor one today, the hockey coach. During my term, I hope we will find ways to properly recognize our teachers who are responsible for our intellectual development. And if there is one trumpet call from my remarks today, let it be, cherish our teachers. S'il est une chose qu'on doit retenir aujourd'hui, c'est que j'ai toujours eu une grande admiration pour les professeurs et les éducateurs de ce pays que j'aime. As we consider our vision for 2017, I ask, can we have equality of opportunity and excellence too? I believe that no nation in history has worked harder than Canada to ensure equality of opportunity. Now, how do we square that with excellence as well? For me, the answer is through our public education system, which is the most inclusive in the world. How do we ensure accessible education for all so that all Canadians can realize their full potential? And how do we reconcile universal access with stellar achievement? And how do we continue to innovate in order to compete with the world's best? Innovation at its simplest is crafting a new idea to do things better. Innovation embraces both technological and social innovation. We want the same continuing commitment to excellence in our learning and research institution that we saw in our Canadian athletes who brought us a record 14 gold medals at the 2010 Winter Games. We need the kind of innovation that has made BlackBerry a household expression. Mike, continue on. We want to emulate our Olympic and Paralympic athletes by constantly striving for excellence in all that we do. We want to be the smart and caring nation, a society that innovates, embraces its talent, and uses the knowledge of each of its citizens to improve the human condition for all. And when we set our sights together, we can do better and inspire each other to achieve great things. Third pillar. Mon troisième pilier sera d'encourager la philanthropie et les bénévolats. Les Canadiennes et les Canadiens ont une longue expérience de solidarité et d'entraide. On constate facilement l'importance de la solidarité dans nos collectivités rurales, ainsi que dans les villes grandes et petites, comme dans celle où j'ai grandi, Sudbury et Sault-Sainte-Marie. I see examples of this coming together in the farming neighborhood where we live. A Mennonite barn raising, with people gathering on the scaffold of a new barn, bringing their diverse talents and energy to help a neighbor in need. Barn building. I think of Rick Hansen, who this past March marked the 25th anniversary of the day he began his Man in Motion World Tour, and he continues to inspire Canadians everywhere. And just 2 weeks ago, millions of Canadians across the country came together to honor the spirit and the achievements of Terry Fox. And the 30th anniversary of his run underscores how Canadians have embraced his cause. In his introduction to his book, Terry, Douglas Copeland recalls seeing the thousands upon thousands of names of everyday Canadians in the Fox archives and writes, collectively, those names testify to something divine. Our nation, our home, and our soul. Les exemples de générosité et de charité abondent d'un but à l'autre du pays. Nous avons fondé nos familles en promettant de créer une vie meilleure pour nos enfants. Nous développons nos talents individuels avec énergie. Nous collaborons pour en tirer le maximum. Nous améliorons la santé et la prospérité de nos familles et de nos communautés de partout au pays, et nous nous soucions de nos voisins. Nous continuerons à susciter et à encourager l'importance d'édifier une nation éclairée et bienveillante. Une idée chère aux Canadiennes et aux Canadiens de tous les âges et de toutes les origines. 2017 will reinforce Canadian sense of pride and engage all citizens. Service to country shaped us. Service to family and community sustains us. And this tradition of service will carry us forward into the future. J'ai hâte de rencontrer et de servir les Canadiens et les Canadiennes dans leur collectivité. Je suis vraiment honoré d'accepter cette mission qui me tient à cœur. Dans son discours inaugural, mon prédécesseur, Général le très honorable Georges P. Vanier, a conclu sur ces paroles. Dans notre marche en avant, jouissant du bonheur matériel, n'oublions pas les valeurs spirituelles dans la trame de notre vie. Pour que le Canada atteigne la grandeur qui lui revient, chacun de nous doit dire « Je ne demande qu'à servir ». Au Canada où nous travaillons ensemble, en mettant de côté nos différences et en tendant la main à celles et ceux qui ont besoin de nous, nous avons créé une société qui fait l'envie du monde. I see my role as a bridge in bringing people of all backgrounds and all ages together to create a smart and caring nation, a nation that will inspire not just Canadians, but the entire world. Let me end with a quote from George Bernard Shaw. Some people see things as they are and wonder why. We dream of things that ought to be and ask, why not?
And that was David Johnston making his remarks in the Senate chamber just a little while ago here in Ottawa as part of the official, the installation ceremony today as he officially becomes Canada's 28th Governor-General, taking over from Michaël Jean, whose term ends this week, and David Johnston's begins. And you heard him talking about the kinds of things he wants to focus on as Governor-General, bridge building, a big theme, a caring society, a big theme. And those three pillars he continually refers to support families and children, to reinforce learning and innovation, and to encourage philanthropy and volunteerism. And so let's look live now down at Rideau Hall, because you'll see the Guard of Honor, which is awaiting his arrival. And I think I can see in the distance, you see the Landau are coming up the long. Well, this is looks like the lead of the procession. Mounties on horseback, and then motorized vehicles, and I think we'll see shortly after that the Landau. Or that is the Landau. Okay, leading that procession, and I'm told that as we see it arrive, just as it gets up here, if it hasn't happened already, and I believe it may have happened already, 6 of David Johnston and Sharon Johnston's grandchildren have taken the opportunity to join their grandparents in the Landau for the last part of the journey up to Rideau Hall, where at this point in the ceremony today, and this is the conclusion of it, their excellencies arrive at Rideau Hall. There's another royal salute and inspection of the Guard of Honor, and then they will enter the residence at Rideau Hall. And let's see, do we see the grandchildren riding along with their grandparents, or I think I see their little heads popping up there, and can you imagine the thrill of that with Grandma and Grandpa, and Grandpa's the new Governor-General of Canada, and there's a horse and buggy ride to top it all off up to the new official residence, and no doubt that there will be lots of life in that official residence over the next 5 years, with a couple with 5 daughters, 7 grandchildren, and there are 6 of them. So there will be lots going on in that household, that official household, over the next 5 years. Not sure that when people said David Johnston could have his hands full as a Governor General in a time of minority governments, he's certainly got his hands full now with those grandchildren in the Landau. Well, I think the country's going to get used to this. He certainly focused on family and children in his remarks, and this is a visual testimony to the kinds of things you're going to see at Rideau Hall. Now, this is where it gets complicated a little bit. The Governor General has to take another royal salute here and inspect the Guard of Honor, and it might be a little bit tricky with a granddaughter on your shoulders.
Guard of Honor size of your household registered card and Canadian Grenadier Guard, military inspection.
Well, you're gonna have to move. Can't be this close.